Hello, I'm Chandonnet. This is one of my latest books. It's titled Write Quick, War and a Woman's Life in Letters, 1835 to 1867. The three main characters in this book are Eliza, her husband Henry, and her brother Andrew. Andrew and Henry both fought in the Civil War. And in case you don't know about the Western theater of the war, it was quite important. 65% of the battles were fought in Virginia, but the battles for Texas, for Louisiana, and for the Mississippi were very important. Henry Foster was stationed in New Orleans for about 2.5 years, and one of his big adventures was not guarding prisoners in New Orleans as he did most of the time, but going on a gunboat and taking part in the Second Battle of Sabine Pass. And that happened September 8, 1863. In the following letter, one of Henry's longest to his wife, he describes real action. He didn't fire a gun in this battle, but he was able to see what was happening. The Second Battle of Sabine Pass was part of a Union expedition into Confederate-controlled Texas. The Federal Navy had blockaded the Texas coast beginning in the summer of 1861, and this battle took place 2 years later. Henry is writing to his wife, Eliza. She's in Massachusetts, and he's writing from Algiers, Louisiana on September 12, 1863. My dear wife, I am thankful once more to be permitted to commune with you and to inform you that I am well, though somewhat fatigued, as our regiment has just returned from a long expedition, and I am compelled to say an unsuccessful one. We gained nothing but lost 2 gunboats, together with the expense of the expedition. The expedition was under the command of Major General Franklin from the Army of the Potomac. He has command of the 19th Army Corps, now under General Banks. I wrote you when at Baton Rouge, and I hope you have got my letter of that date. Well, we started the next day, the 2nd, embarked just at night on board the steamer Crescent, and have not been on shore since until this morning. We stored all our knapsacks in Baton Rouge with everything in them. Whether I shall ever see mine again or not, I don't know, but hope so, because I have the miniatures of you and the children there. But I was compelled to leave them behind, and if we had marched any distance, I should have had to dispose of some things anyway. We started from Baton Rouge Wednesday the 2nd and arrived in front of the city of New Orleans at 2 o'clock the next day and lay at the wharf till the next evening when the boat ran out into the stream and anchored. But during the night, started downriver with a large ship in tow. Arrived at the passes Saturday just at dark and anchored inside the bar. There were some 12 transports and 2 small gunboats in all. No one knew except the commanders where we were going, but everybody said in New Orleans that we were bound for Mobile, and no one could contradict it. Well, the fleet lay at anchor until the next morning, September 8th, about 7 o'clock. We all got underway and started in over the bar to enter the river. All the light draft boats were soon over the bar. All went over that attempted to, except the steamer that our regiment was on, and she stuck fast in the mud. There was 1 gunboat and 5 or 6 transports that did not attempt to cross the bar as they drew so much water. There were 3 gunboats here blockaded, which made 5 in all. They all seemed to be waiting for our boat to get over the bar. Nothing was done except one of the gunboats shelled the shore a little, but did not receive any response from the rebels. They were laying a trap, which proved in a measure successful to them. Well, we were trying all this time to get over the bar up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when one of the river steamers came out and tried to tow us off, but could not. Thus, we only had 2 gunboats left that could reach the battery, and they were soon hauled off. The rebel battery was much stronger than was anticipated by our commanders, and they held their fire until they had decoyed our boats within easy range, and then opened a severe fire on them which no wooden vessel could stand long. It did not take General Franklin long to decide what to do. There was no possible chance for troops to land as the ground there is all a marsh, and what gunboats we had were insufficient to compete with the rebel guns on shore at Fort Griffin, and we had orders immediately to put back to the mouth of the Mississippi. Our regiment was on the old riverboat, which was not safe a moment out to sea, and the steamer that took us out was hard aground and did not get off till about 12 o'clock that night. We had to stay on the old shell until morning. There was quite a swell on the sea, and everyone expected every minute she would go to pieces. It was the worst night I ever passed in my life. I would have much rather faced the rebel battery on shore, and I think all were of the same mind. I did not express my feelings to anyone until I got off, for there were plenty that did, and I don't know what prevented half of us from jumping overboard. Any quantity of enlisted men were singing out for the officers to run us ashore, and we would take the rebel battery with our small guns. But we all lived through the night and got safely aboard of the Crescent the next morning and started for the Mississippi. We got here at 3 o'clock this morning and came ashore about 9. We are encamped now about 2 miles from New Orleans, opposite the city. Here I shall have to come to a halt and a right about face. I don't know anything concerning movements any further. I received 2 newspapers today. I hope George, that's his son, Henry's son, is better by this time. Is it whooping cough? You said Sis had it. You can guess I was a little astonished when I got your letter before I opened it, for I knew it was not your writing, and I could not imagine who it was from. But I soon found out to my great joy it was from my dear and beloved one, whom I love and adore above all, and upon whom all my hopes and joys are centered. Oh, what I would give to see you, Eliza. I mean to keep up good spirits and do the best I can, and trust in God to spare my life to my dear family. Though these are trying times, we shall not despair, and you will feel that I am living for you and our dear children. Yours ever true, H.C. Foster.